Well, good evening, everyone. You're very welcome to Division 4 TTML round number 10 of TTML Division 4. I said it in the right order. My name is Graham, and joining me tonight is Joseph Corboy. Hi, Joe.
Graham, why'd you call me Joseph? But okay, thank you. My name's Graham. My name's Joe. Joe Corboy, or you can call me TTG Corboy. But, well, Graham, how are you?
I'm not too bad, thanks, Joe. Do you know what? I'm glad you gave me stick for that because I was going to call you the pack opener, Corbett. I thought, no, it'd be nice this week.
No, why would you even start? Like, FIFA's not even fully out yet, like, so don't even start, alright?
Oh dear. I am doing grand, Joseph. How are you doing?
I've been better, but sure.
Joe, I didn't ask you for your life story.
I'm leaving to see that race. I'm going to see that race in this.
So how are you, Joe? Are you all set for this race?
Do you want to know my opinion? Do you really want to know my opinion?
I want to know your opinion. Do you know what? Yeah, go for it. But PG.
Graham, this is absolutely disappointing numbers. 10 drivers!
Yeah, it's tough.
No, it's just shocking.
It's tough.
Dan Morris want to get his finger out of his arse now.
Okay.
Come on. I'm sick.
Wow, what a start. It's okay, Joe. Look, we'll make the most of it, alright?
If it's a wet race, I'm definitely leaving. I'm sorry.
We'll try and make it work. We'll assess who's here and who's not here in terms of the title permutations, because there is a title that could have been technically decided tonight.
Charlie's not here. No one's here.
No, he's not. Are any of the title contenders here?
No.
There's no Martin Bell, so if you want some free points, then tonight is the race for you. So we'll see who is in third actually in the standings. Now that we Joe, actually that's a good segue, Joe. Why don't you give us the standings there heading into this race? Just do the top view.
Charlie leading on 141 points, Martin Bell in second on 130, Lord Holton in third on 114, Kiki in fourth on 111, Cam fifth 107, Mickey in sixth on 102, Storm in seventh on 100, DJ Wilson in eighth on 94, Conti in ninth with 87, and Sayed in 10th with 76. Constructors Racing Point with 238, Red Bull with 196, Mercedes with 190, McLaren with 186, Haas with 166, Alfa Romeo with 121, Renault with 105, Ferrari with 101, Alfa Tauri with 99, and Williams with 77.
Alrighty.
And the podium from last week was OWR Martin Bell in first place, second was Kiki, and third was TFI Gran.
I can actually barely remember the race last week.
I wasn't even here, so.
That's right, you weren't. I forgot about that. Maybe that's why I didn't remember, Joe, because it's memorable when you're here, Joe.
I was sick, Gran, you know. I know I didn't ask you that, sorry.
That's okay, Joe. Thank you for the sass. I appreciate it nevertheless. So yeah, it's kind of tough pickings. Key can get himself Key can get himself right in contention here. If he wins this race, he'd basically be with Charlie. So we could have it as a season finale. We could have a finale, but that requires a good result, like a title finale. That does require a good result from Key tonight.
If he finishes pole fast lap and wins the race,
He'll go ahead.
He goes ahead.
He's 30 points exactly behind Charlie at the moment. So, and there's no Martin Bell, there's no Lord Holton. So he is the furthest forward who has any championship hopes. But it does have to require finishing. Look, just because there's 10 drivers here doesn't mean anything's guaranteed. You have to actually finish the race. But of course, if you just tour around at 2 miles an hour for 30 something laps, 28 laps, then you're still going to get some good points. But Gran is going to get started on the soft compound tyres. Joe, you've raced this track. What
Yep.
are your impressions? What are your thoughts? How do you feel about this track?
In Trumpland, this track is absolutely a ball of. It's bad. I don't like it.
You don't like it?
No, I don't like it. I like the first sector. That's all.
Interesting. I would have thought on the pad you wouldn't have liked the first sector as much.
I like a challenge car.
So where does the track fall away from you then? Where do you struggle with?
Coming out, we're grand on the left, so that coming into the second sector. Yeah, the second sector split there. That long right-hander, is it? Long left-hander?
This one here?
This one here.
What
This part, the traction, yeah. Traction, I just lose it most of the time. This yoke as well.
This one I find the tougher one of the two for sure.
And then that big long right-hander, and then you're... Yeah.
I find with this triple right-hander, it is the... oops, don't open spot.
The exit.
iTunes, wrong application. It's the... I was looking for my browser, because it's turns 14, 16, 17... Sorry. It's 16, 17, 18 triple, as Grand was a 30.8. So, I find... Let's see if you can pick... So there's a Mercedes. I think it's Nicky coming through, right? So, for me, the way I... In qualifying, of course, you can take it a bit more flat. In the race, I do anything I kind of stick to as right as possible, so that does require a lift. So with a lift, if I need to just stay close to that curve as possible, minimize kind of the distance travelled. So yes, you might have to scrub off a little bit of speed to do so, but I find that line is, sticking as tight as you can to the curves on that right-hand side is the way to go. So Nicky does a 31.9. There's other part of the track I'm not too keen on here. Let's go with the Alpha Tauri of Sygate. It's this right-hander heading up this hill. This right-hander followed by the left. Yeah. Is my least favourite of the track. Otherwise, as Aquapine goes second, that's 31.7. Otherwise, it's a track I really enjoy. But that part I do not like. And I don't like getting the throttle of that part of the track either. So that's my only real area of complaint on this track for me. But I've always enjoyed COTA. It's a carbon copy of multiple other tracks. So the S is obviously reminiscent from Silverstone, the hairpin there, and reminiscent of the Nürburgring, heading onto that big long back straight. The right-hander obviously is the imitation of the left-hander in Turkey. So I'd say there's one unique aspect of this track, at least I find it to be unique, is the uphill braking of turn 1. Is a unique part of the track in a nice way. And we've talked about this before. I find the last two corners of Vietnam to be based off of the last two corners on this track, and that's not a good thing to reference your last two corners, because the last two corners of this track aren't particularly standout.
They are dog.
But that's just some thoughts on COTA. Usually, though, you do get some good racing here. So,
yeah,
league races are entertaining here, and who knows? Again, we've said it often this season when the turnout's been low. You can have 20 drivers and still have a bad race. So, a good race isn't technically limited to how many number of drivers are around. It does help for sure, because the more the merrier. The more drivers around, the more chance have somewhere there's a battle taking place. But that being said, not impossible to have a good race with a low turnout. But such is the par for the course with coming to the season's end. Joe, you've been league racing long enough. I've been racing long enough. This happens. This happens come the end of the season.
Yeah, it's unfortunate as well.
It is unfortunate, as Florian goes official pole 30.8, just 14 thousandths there ahead of Graham in second place. It is unfortunate, but it's people who don't have it is racing. I was actually going to say people who don't have much to race for don't usually turn up. It's actually weird, because the top 3 in the championship are the ones aren't actually here. So it's unique, I guess, in that sense. Anyways, nothing mad going on track at the moment. Everyone's kind of on an in-lap. Sorry, there's a few people in the pits. Some people actually coming out for their second runs on out-laps. Key is bolted on a set of the soft compound tyres. Also, I have found I was actually watching this. I was watching the Division 2 stream yesterday. The camera angles here are absolutely shocking. Poor old James Head didn't know what to do with himself at times, because the camera angles you're getting from the broadcast cams are absolutely shocking. So I'm a fan of the onboard anyway, but we're going to be using the onboard a fair bit tonight because, yeah, it is not great for side by side racing. Some of the camera angles around here, so yeah, worth mentioning.
It's unfortunate. Oh, sure. Codemasters Game of the Year 2020.
Codemasters indeed. Going aboard with Key. He goes for a flying lap. See what the approach is. I do expect him to be the quickest driver around tonight. He's actually one of the quicker drivers. Anyway, I'm amazed he's got away with validation there twice through that S section. It does say purple sector 1. How has he got away with that? That's surprising. Fourth gear, early upset to fifth. Sorry, Joe.
Well there. Yeah, the track limits here are strict as hell.
Which lines up for the rest of this game. I'm actually amazed that was the one area he invalidated on compared to, because I could have sworn he went over the track limits twice there in sector 1. But he's got his teammate behind him. Looking to put a bit of toe, an opportunistic toe as well. So let's see if he plays ball here. He picked up a little bit. 205 miles an hour top speed, gets promptly out of the way. So let's see then for Conti. There's the sector 2 split. Doesn't go purple. So maybe it was a little bit too far. I think
it was too far back, I think.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's just a tad far back to really gain an advantage there. Well, I'm sure he would have gained a little bit, but not maybe as much as perhaps he would have liked. Here comes then through the second to last corner. Notorious part of the track to get some warnings and penalties. Not the only place, of course. And then coming across the line to set a 31.2. Apparently a purple sector 3. But the sector, when it's purple on the map, I'm skeptical of that at times. But his teammate following him through. Going for another lap on those softs. You can talk strategy later.
Yep.
Let's see how he goes with this. Again, he's gone. I could have sworn he's taken twice. He's taken 4 wheels across the. He's taken those 2 front wheels over the white lines, but he's got away with it twice there. So maybe that
Gran goes ball.
You're right there, Joe. 30.4 for Gran. I suspect that's going to be challenged pretty quickly. Now, will they return the favour here? Conti's way too far and forward to be giving any toe to Key. But let's see what the top speed is like anyway. See what Conti may have been gaining. He got to 205. And that's basically... He got 204 is where Key got to. So you can see how much time... that Conti didn't really gain anything from that last lap as purple sector 2 from Key. I do expect this to be a pole, but we'll see how much it goes. You can hear a nice Honda over rev, which won't be around for too much longer, sadly.
No, unfortunately.
It's a very nice sounding engine.
Oh,
the lap was there. All he has to do was not do that, and it's the entry of the turn 19, which is where he's gotten tripped up on, which is unusual because the exit of turn 19, as you go the exit of it, as you go set yourself up for the last turn, is the area where you normally pick up those warnings and invalidations. But on the entry there, so that's a disappointing one for Key. So I have to try and get this in order because he might be the quickest driver here tonight, but doesn't want to be starting from last if he can help it. It's still 9 cars he has to try and get through to get to top spot. Very much within the midfield, so to speak, in terms of cars in front. But here comes Nicky then. Nicky goes into third. 6 thousandths ahead of Storm there in fourth. I'm very sorry for your elbow there, Joe. Nothing worse than digging your elbow on,
it's already out, yeah.
on the funny bone. It's not very funny. Reserve tonight, Joe, I believe, in the Haas, Faxland.
Fraxland, boy.
So, sporting the born in 1950 helmet for the 70th anniversary, which is a helmet you don't see too often.
Can't see the helmet because my camera angle is actually decent. I can see it there now.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, this is what I'm talking about. Look at this shocking camera angle on board Nicky here down this back straight. At what point do I want to see this? You know? So, yeah.
What's that?
It's the camera where it's in front of the rear wing, but it's central and it looks at the fin and looks over the car.
Oh yeah, that handicap one.
Yeah, that's the one. So, Red Bulls are back out. It's early for Key to go back out. I wonder. I thought he might have waited a little bit, a few minutes longer, but clearly impatient to get a valid lap in. He's not going to have enough time to do this, come back in, and come back out again. So this is going to have to be. This is going to have to be the one for Key. And it actually just dawned on me now that he's actually, I think he's actually rocking number 14, which I'm so not used to seeing around because obviously it's not 13 rather, but you could use 14 if you want because Fernando Alonso's not in the sport at the moment.
Yeah. You know he was number 14.
Yeah, there you go. I know all the driver numbers. Quiz me and.
No, I'd rather not. Thanks.
Well, Key's starting a lap, so you're lucky this time, Joe. And
Valde.
Well, he's going very wide on the entry to turn 1, and is lucky probably not to be involved there. He might have backed off the throttle enough there to recognise that he had cut the corner, but yeah, much more clear cut instance of corner cutting, and he's invalidated the lap through the S's this time. So he's going to have only one more run basically. His teammate is on a flying lap. 31.3 is the quickest time he's set. Go for 6th place at the moment. See if he can handle the S section a little bit better. Okay, you want to take as much of the curves as possible without dipping a wheel. There's the left front over it, and he has got through cleanly. And 2 tenths up on his previous time. 2 tenths will give him to a 31.1 position at the moment, but yeah, needs more gains than that. And the hairpin, and we'll open the DRSs against up on what is the most clear overtaking opportunity on the track. There are many, to be fair, but well, it's not many, but I guess there's more. Like you could in theory run side by side here for this entire sector basically, so they could race side by side, but
dive bomb central here,
make an overtake, yeah, that, and obviously turn 1 is a nice dive bomb central. We can talk about that in the formation lap though. And only 2 minutes left, we'll be there soon. And you can see Conti then. Let's see if he can get this right then. His teammates obviously invalidated here. No risks taken, and then you want to take as much of this curve as possible. He misses the apex slightly, will cost a little bit of time, comes across the line, and it's 30.9, puts him up into 3rd place. He'll have enough time for a cooldown lap, and then another lap if he so chooses. I think there's more time to find than that for Conti.
He invalid again?
He'll have time to do one more run. Sygate's on a quicker lap at the moment, but he's invalidated at the last corner. He was just about to do a 30.2, which would have put him. Well, I think it actually. I'm not sure if it would have. I'm not sure if it was.
41.2 Graham.
Yeah, 2.56 though was Aquaflying's time, so I'm not sure if that would have put him above that. But yeah. Ooh, that might be an invalidation for Ivo Zara. Nope, it's just about valid. As he charges up the hill. Difficult
Faxland invalidated.
Difficult one to spot. Faxland then coming out of the last corner. So was 2 tenths up in his time and is slowing across the line. So that's going to be, I guess he's no more fuel for another run. So that's going to be ish for Faxland. On his, not sure if it's a debut or not, but it'll be ish for him regardless. Key to start another lap, but let's see. Florian just going to start another lap. Gran, same story. Nicky is the same then. Storm's on a flying lap though. We'll stick with Storm. It's going to be tight if he has enough time after this. I think he'll reach the checker flag first. And he's down on his current time though, so have to be big gains found in this last sector if he's going to improve his grid position. That's it for Conti. Of course, we knew that would be likely the case. Let's see then for Storm. Relatively clean last sector. Let's see then. So Bertov hitting that apex. Checker flag is out, and he comes across the line to set a 30.8. He does indeed go quicker. Aqua planning then. Just starting his lap. Even though the checker flag is out, of course, well-known glitch. Ivo Zara, 2/10 up on his time. Good last corner too. On the power. 410 improvement, but just 32.1 for him. The other AlphaTauri rather, of Cygate into the pits. No improvement there for him. Or where is Key? Key's got a valid lap so far. But how slow is he? Maybe have to have gone to try and keep that to be the case. He's not through, of course. 2 corners to go. Do the first one cleanly. And then one more. So he's going to get a lap in at the buzzer. Is it good enough for pole position? Oh, it is. 30.1. Can anyone beat that? Florian's invalidated his lap. He's into the pits, but Gran is carrying on. The commitment into the second to last corner is strong, but is there enough time there to make up? Can he take pole position? It's going to look good, to be fair. Oh, it's a 30.3. I thought he was going to snipe it there at the end. Does stay in second place unless Aquapine's got a lap. Oh, he's had to invalidate it because he had to go past that Mercedes, which of course was already finished. And so I think that's Nicky. Oh, no, it's
no, this is all fault. Like,
had no control over that, and
just put into a wall, will you?
And we almost did. And that's going to be it for qualifying then. Oh, intriguing, Joe. I'm told, my sources tell me, and by sources I mean Storm.
No.
Comments. What? You know what I was going to say?
I do know what you're going to say.
It's
a wet race.
But for what part? Yeah. Key in pole position with 30.1. Gran in second, 30.3. Florian almost 7/10 back with a 30.8. Just behind them is Storm on a 30.8 as well. 5th is Conti, 6th is Nicky, 7th Aquaplanning, Cygate in 8th, Faxland in 9th, and Ivo Zara in 10th. You say that, Joe, but you're also looking at the comments. So.
Yeah, I just looked at it because I'd seen what it was, and I was right at the start of the race.
Well, you could have been wrong.
Well, I'm always right, so get it right.
Are you always right?
One bike collapsed, the man who filling.
So, anyways, now that we know the weather, we're going to have a crossover point. Oh, that's good at least. I'll be interested to see who judges that the best.
Me.
You. Well, it's very light rain, so intermediates, I assume, will be the way to go. Now, Joe, how would you handle this in terms of strategy? Not knowing, of course, say the rain stops in 10 minutes. So say lap 7 or 8. What would you be looking to do in terms of strategy?
Mediums.
Medium to go to the end.
Yeah.
You don't sound very sure.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Are the hards too slow? Or...
Oh, the hards are bad.
So you wouldn't...
Bad.
So you wouldn't take... So would you almost consider a 2-stop even, before taking the hards to the end?
No, I do go... If it was dry, I'd go soft medium, or if you're at the back, medium soft, but like it's rain now, so... I try to stretch it out as much as I can.
Stretch it out as much as you can and go on those mediums.
They're dry, it's on dry tires. Are they? They are.
They are, wow.
Great game, Codemasters. Well done.
That's interesting. I wonder... I wonder if... Could you imagine if we had like DRS disabled this lap? Like it started on dries, but the rain would only get heavier to start the race. And...
Bet you the boys put on wet setups, so like it's just like no point, like.
I kind of wonder if you could actually, because I'm not sure how much control you have, because I've never had situations like this. In terms of like, could you change from the dries to the wets on the grid if you saw that the delta was maybe, technically maybe the wets was quicker?
Suppose you could, Graham.
I actually have no idea if that would be the case, but presumably then it's dry enough, so this rain might only last a few minutes. But yeah, a difficult start nevertheless, though, because you are on dry tyres on a damp track, that's for sure. So everyone on softs, because obviously everyone's starting in the top 10. So I will laugh if DRS is to say this, like lap 2 or something.
It wouldn't surprise me, Graham. To be honest, it would not surprise me in the slightest.
Um,
I expect a few broken wings there anyways. Lap 1, turn 1.
Well,
dive bomb central.
Well, let's talk about that, because it's a very inviting turn 1 to do that, but it closes off very quickly. So, and with the track conditions damp with dry tyres, that only adds to that. So I think you're right, Joe. Someone is going to. I think so. It's very possible someone is going to misjudge it in a bid for glory, and we'll see what happens. It is still raining, so it hasn't stopped in this formation lap. I am astounded by this, by the way. This is very interesting. We'll see how long it takes for the rain to actually stop. If it'll have any bearing on this race. But it still looks like, it doesn't look like the sun's about to burst through, Joe, either.
No, it looks like about 10 minutes. 10-15 minutes this run on it at least.
I see a little spot of blue behind on board here at Key, but it's not threatening to break through anytime soon. We'll see though. Going on board with Florian for the start of this race. Long time up to turn 1. And in these difficult conditions as well. Here we go then. As last car lines up. Here we go then. 28 laps.
Come round.
The usual, Joe. 5 red lights. And away we go. Looks like a good start for Gran. He's going to be pulling up alongside that Red Bull immediately. And look at Storm trying to sneak through the middle of them too. He's going to have to find a space, open the contact between Key and Storm. But Gran takes the lead of the race. Storm then just behind. Contact behind. There's a Haas. And looked like it was going to be very messy there for a second. But luckily they all seem to have got through okay. As they file through the SSN for the first time in these damp conditions. If anything, Joe, the rain looks even heavier than now than it did at the start of this formation lap. But they're trickling their way through, but Gran have the best start then. And Storm got a really good start. You can see the position changes there. Oops, wrong one. There we go, up 2 places for Storm, from 4th to 2nd. And Key then with not the best start then. As a side-by-side action, that's Facklin and Conti into the hairpin. And Conti with the switch back. Of course, everyone should be tentative getting on the power, but he's through. And Storm is actually lost the back end, I think, somewhere, because Key has gone roaring through there with ease.
Because Florian down the outside.
Down inside into the hairpin. I think the contact with the wing there, but I think it's okay. And Aquapine just behind this as well. So trying to place around the outside. It's risky stuff. Try to fight the car as well. He should have a good run though. He go down the inside.
Here's the dive bomb.
You can do it. No. Storm then has a try with a switch back, but Aquapine's going to get that one done. So that's an opportunistic move by Aquapine. It's a good move too, because they obviously the most threatening part of doing that, going down the inside into that corner, is that you can be switched back on. But position his car well, and Aquapine's up into 4th place. So Storm's had a roller coaster start of a lap, up to 2nd, and now down to 5th before it's even the end of lap 1, which it is. And Ivo Zara just getting through there on Nicky as well. DRS is enabled, which is false because it's actually lap 2, not lap 3. So good stuff as always. Ooh, Aquapine then getting a bit wobbly out of turn 1 as Ivo Zara takes that place back from Nicky. No, still holding on to it. In fact, Nicky is the one trying to take it. As he file the way through the S's. Oh, back and want to slip away. Oh, Grant had a bit of a moment, has he? No, it's just the timing screens having them there. So, sound of stuff, but I think it's all sorted now. 1.1 seconds the gap between Gran and Key. And then just 6 seconds. The DRS is still enabled. See a little bit more blue sky threatening to break through there. And the exit around
No,
turn 11 or
DRS is
so.
not enabled, Graham. So lap 2 as well.
You're right, sorry. I was it's not been disabled rather even as well. But you are right, it is lap 2, yeah. No imminent moves being made. I'm just waiting for that DRS to be enabled. A bit of a gap. There's the second Storm just back then of Aquaplane, and then 2.3 seconds between Cygate and Storm. Everyone else is even in DRS of each other. So if you're the car in front that doesn't have DRS, then you could be in a bit of a tricky situation. DRS Joe, very important around here.
Contact. Conti and Ivo Zara. Conti just doesn't go.
That's for P8. As the conditions continue to, well, rain. Still wet out there. And Grant sets the fastest lap of the race, only beating Florian, 43.8. I'd be interested to see if there's many improvements coming as Florian gets close to key. Any improvements as the laps go on here, see what the track conditions are evolving to. But as Florian's quite close to the back of key then, following through this S section. It's all about finding the confidence, finding the balance, finding, you know, your feet around a track that is wet and on dry tyres. You're trying to find that zone to brake. You're trying to find the best time to put the throttle down. It's all a feeling out process. As the laps go on, they'll gain a better and better understanding of how to best utilise the current conditions.
DRS enabled.
Enabled, it is lap 3, and there it is on the back of key. Grant had a bit of a difficult turn, bit of a difficult turn 11 there, but still nothing doing for the time being. Faxan's going for a move on Cygate though. Cygate out of DRS range on Storm, and the outside, the car, the Haas is trying to go, and Cygate closes that door on the exit there. No way through. As I begin to tiptoe back to Grant here. Top 3, top 4 even, is just tantalisingly close there with Aquaplane just out of that DRS range. But if these 3 continue to hold each other up, then you can be sure that that will be dash. Oh, Aquaplane's gone off, has he? He's gone very, very wide, completely missed it, just sailed on. But the large runoff area proved useful as he's able to come back on without careering into a wall. Joe, would you check the lap times of key there? I want to see if the track was much slower on this first lap. Oh, someone's off. Key's off. He's lost his front wing. Heading through Sector 1, the VSC is deployed. As Grant picks up a 3-second penalty as well. I was just going to ask if the track was getting worse in terms of conditions and lap time. But
Key was doing a 48 on the first lap, and now he's doing 44s. Basically, been in the pit stop.
Yeah. So I was going to ask for lap 2 and lap 3 comparisons.
They're only a tenth off.
Okay, so the track is still relatively the same.
What?
And here we go then.
What for the key, anyways?
Sorry, Cygate's on the inside here of key into turn 11. I think he lost. I'm guessing he lost it coming out of the traction zone of turn 1. Would be my guess. I didn't actually see it, but I'm guessing that's what happened. But he went into the wall on the left-hand side, and he's got no front wing. So the man who stood to gain the most from this race tonight is going to have to do it the hard way, and obviously struggling desperately as Ivo Zara then goes through, and everyone else will be fighting through quick enough. Be careful to do so though. He's still a car. You have to negotiate. Oh, and Nicky opportunistic, sneaking through the pair of them as Faxan was trying to navigate around that Red Bull, and a bit of contact, but Nicky found a way through. What'd you make of that one?
Yeah, I got a shock. I got a fright there. I didn't see the car.
I didn't expect it either, to be honest. But it happened, and no sign of anyone coming into the pits. So obviously DRS is still enabled. Obviously we won't be able to tell this lap properly who's, what the pace is comparatively, because obviously the VSC was out. We will this lap though. We saw check the fastest lap was set by Gran, wasn't it? Or was it Florian? It was Florian, wasn't it? 43.8. So what we're looking at is a Faxland gets back by Nicky into P7, heading to turn 1. Would that be a
softs?
Softs, interesting. So with that VSC, Joe, the gap between the front three is kind of spread just a little bit. Florian is, he's just missed out, I believe, on the DRS there of Gran. He was 9-10 heading out of that corner, and then down the hill. Just lost that touch. That's unfortunate, but the two AlphaTauris look to do battle once again. DRS open 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th and 9th in close proximity to each other. And Saika goes defensive. Ivazara slamming on the brakes. Can't quite find an avenue through. You see Cygate struggling with that lack of DRS then for straight line speed comparatively. Makes a move of target on
Oh, and who was that dive bomb? Nicky absolutely shunted Faxand off the fucking, off the track. He dive bombed around that dive bomb corner, Graham.
To be honest, these two are going at it because it's happened. The last lap happened at the beginning of this lap, and then again later this lap. As Florian says, fast lap of the race. It was a Gran or Florian at 46.3, sorry, 43.6 rather. So track still relatively where it was, despite this downpour and rain. Ivazara and Cygate side by side. Got the bear exit. Oh, who's going to relent first? Oh, brave from Ivazara. He's got to try and hold on the inside. Oh, and he's through. Oh, that's a brave one. There's a yellow flag. It's Key again, who's got more damage on his wings, so it's going from bad for worse. So for Key, that was a great move by Ivazara there. Not the easy thing to do, to go around Cygate then, who does not give up easily. And he's into 5th place then, but now we'll have to try and contend with his team having DRS them this time around. In a role reversal. Exit.
Oh, but Nicky gets a way better exit than Psyche.
Yeah, I was just looking on board Cygate there. His exit comparatively to his teammate was not great. So even though he's got DRS, he's still going to be under pressure from Nicky, who darts to the left-hand side. Yeah, much later on the brakes. Let's go on board Faxland for that. And Nicky finds a way through. Will Psyche have a sneak peek down into turn to the right-hander of turn 13? Not quite. Also, Faxland making contact in the back of Cygate, with Cygate dropping a bit then in this opening stint. So Joe, we're assuming then it's going to be dry tyres to the end. So what lap would you start beginning to consider to make a stop on?
11.
For mediums to the end.
10, 11, yeah.
So we're working with. Let's see then, Cygate again, he's just struggling. Really struggling on his exits, and Faxland's going to look to have a go. I need to turn 1, how late will Cygate moves? Oh, yeah, a bit of a late one, but Faxland's going to go for it. Misses the corner slightly, and that's going to allow Cygate a run back through to be side by side on board Conti then. For this battle rather. Oh, Cygate's car wants to step away, but he keeps the position ahead of Faxland. And that is for P7, but at the same time he's lost DRS then to Nicky, who's right on the back of Ivazara. Now free. See if Nicky then has the exit.
Oh!
It's much better than Ivazara's as it turns out. He managed to catch it, but keeps the defensive line. Have to force Nicky around the outside, but Nicky should be able to pull through in a straight line, and has. And oh, bit of contact as Ivazara tries to fight back on a damp track, but can't do it, as Faxland does get the move done on Cygate then this time around. Cygate's going to try for the old switch back, trying to prioritise the racing line rather, and both of them are struggling to keep the car in a straight line. It's going to allow Conti a look through then. Oh, contact between two, Conti's round as Cygate slammed that door. Thankfully Conti hasn't seemed to have lost too much time there, as he lost part of his front wing. Can't quite see. I think it was okay, at least visually. Yeah. but it has spread out the field just a little bit there. And as Ivazara then trying to see if he can take the place back on Nicky, gets a decent exit out of the final turn, but the straight isn't quite long enough for the gap he's currently at. He's going to go for a late dive, much later on the brakes, with a lockup and an obvious corner cut there for good measure. So the penalties are flying in, Joe.
Yeah, I want to go overtake now and there's S's now.
Struggling, yeah. I want to try and save his ERS as much as possible, and I wonder if he's just forgotten to take it off, because sometimes that does happen. You just forget to take it off sometimes. Well, I don't really have that issue, but some people do forget for sure. Because you're so engrossed in at least trying to keep the car in a straight line that sometimes you just forget. I kind of wonder though if it's just an effort to just do anything to keep within DRS, having had a tough lap. No overtake opportunity this time round, surely, for Ivazar. Digging into that ERS though. Oh, I will say though, catching speed is quick. Will he go for it? It was like 7/10 back at the start of this straight. He will go down the inside with a half-hearted move. Side by side. Oh, Nicky's trying to catch the car. He's got the inside line though. Ivazar on the outside, trying to hang with Nicky, and it's just not going to happen. Oh, Nicky's lost the back end. Oh, did well to catch it though. Ivazar had to have trusted that. Had no choice other than to trust that Nicky would have caught it. And a better run heading into turn 16. Side by side. I was going to end as Florian goes into the pits. Nicky on later on the brakes. Oh, that was so close. As they both dart into the pits, same lap. Oh, Nicky almost had so many close calls. Oh, just when you thought everyone had avoided everything they needed to, Ivazar hit into the back of Nicky heading into the pits and has given himself wing damage.
Florian's out with another set of softs.
So that's a 2-stop, just behind Faxland there, whereas Storms come out on a set of mediums. Nicky, Ivazara out on a set of the soft compound tyre. I'll tell you what, Joe, I think...
So I guess on intermediates.
Oh, the wing change as well. Wow, fascinating. I think Nicky may have had either a 5-second soft go or a wing change, because gap's only 2.6 between himself and Ivazara. So, I'm not sure what happened there. Maybe Nicky did damage the wing. Intermediates for so I guess that's a bold one, as Florian gets by Faxland with ease. Horrific camera angles. Well, sorry, not with ease, but he is very much through. Bit of contact on the way, and Florian then stays, well, takes third place. As how do the rest respond to this then? Grant stays out. Aquaplaning is going to come in, and you can see the gap. Sygate's already losing a bunch of time on intermediates. It's not the right time, as Aquaplaning almost loses the back end. He needs the pits, but keeps it. Let's see what tyres go on this Alfa Romeo. Yeah, it's just not the right time for intermediates. You see the time Sygate's losing is
the hards or
compound tyres to go to the end of the race. So, no debate. That strategy. So Florian's got work to do then, it would seem. Got time to make another stop. What's the gap though? Where is Conti into the pits as well? Said mediums for him. Storm still have to come out and say mediums. The gap between Aquaplaning and Florian is over 5 seconds. So that's what he's working with, as Ivazar comes out ahead of Conti there. And Sygate, yeah, just not the right call this time around.
So DRS is enabled, like, why would you...
Well, DRS can be enabled, and it can still be...
I know, yeah, but like, it's not wet enough for wets or intermediates.
Yeah, so there's a guide to this.
Stupid.
There's a guide to this, and I'm going to share this knowledge for free. So, we're on board with Gran, right? So, actually, let's go on board with Florian. So, Florian, as he heads through sector... See, it's all about sector times. Florian's 1.2 up on his quickest sector time. It's just a purple sector. So, as the rain goes on, you know, from dry to wet, you're constantly monitoring sector times. It's all about monitoring those sector times. How much time are you losing in each sector? And then add it up over the lap. You calculate by sector because if it's time to pit, then you're obviously not going to complete sector 3 because it's time to pit. So if you're about, ideally it's about 7, 8, 9-ish seconds as Florian says, a 41.7, which is by far the quickest time we've seen so far, as a key gets by Sidegate then on those inters. So it's about 7, 8, 9 seconds you want to be down on your slowest time. Degradation depending, you know, depending on how long your tyres are actually on for. You have to take that into account as well. So maybe an extra second or something if you bear that in mind, depending on what track you're on. So you're looking for 8 or 9 seconds or so that you're slower than your quickest time. That's your kind of crossover point. And if you're about, I don't know, 3 or 4 seconds down through sector 2, that's a time you're looking at to come into the pit at the end of that lap. Especially if it's like, say, 1 point something seconds through sector 1, and then like 3 or 4 seconds to sector 2. That's going to add up to about 6 or 7 seconds by the end of the lap, and that's basically where your crossover point is. So even if DRS is enabled still, it's only a matter of time. Oh, and Sygate's out. He's retired in the pits. No, he's not. He's actually crashed. I'm guessing into the pit lane. Would be my guess. Into that, yeah. As he's going left, he's gone into the right-hand side, I think. So even though, yes, DRS may be enabled, that doesn't always mean... So it's all about judging it, really, and trying to get in ahead of the curve. But no such thing is happening here because people are finding more time on in these conditions at the moment. I'm just looking on with Florian again. There's no real puddles anywhere. No, there's not a lot of standing water, it seems. So yeah, the track is only getting quicker and quicker. 40.5. So
Aquaplanet's off there, Narnia.
I was just going to say, like, the gap was like 10 seconds. Like, it's always...
Oh, he comes up... What? Oh, I thought... Never mind. No. I thought Nick was close.
I think Aquaplanet's just... yeah, Wing's okay. But... Oh, dear God! Oh, he's into the barrier, is he? Oh, he's just about avoided it. But those rears are cooked. Absolutely cooked. He's actually so careful through this first sector. Ivanzara should make quick work. He's got to be very careful as that AlphaTauri, because this is a bad place of the track to be. Oh, he's got to be so careful.
What's he doing? What's he playing at?
The tyres are gone, Joe. I think the rears are
I don't care, Graham.
pumped.
Just get out of the way, like. And he did overtake as well. Like, what's he expect? What's he expect?
It's okay, Joe. Relax.
No.
I know this hurts you hard because...
oh, look at that! Look at it! Oh, Graham, I need to get a drink. I'm fucking sick. Look at this.
Because I often find myself doing... I do apologise for my co-commentator. Not too impressed with the events of tonight. Oh well. Gaps are fairly spread as... Oh, Grant into the pits, lap 11. Just as Joe was saying earlier, would be a time to switch 0.7 mediums. Now, how much time has Florian gained out of all this is the question. 37. Yeah, the rain has stopped now. So, finally the rain has stopped 13 laps later. And we're basically just getting... the track will ramp up. I was going to say for Aquaplane, it's a bad time to be on the hards because I think, yeah, the softs were given... The performance they were giving as the track was drying would have been much better. As a factor into the pits as well. So medium tyres down for Gran. 9.8 seconds behind Florian. That's not too bad for a Gran. That's doable. Now let's see how much time Florian can gain while on these soft compound tyres versus then the time he'll have to make back up. Actually, he's kind of shot himself in the foot here, Florian, because he'll have to, if I'm not mistaken, he's only used one set of compound of tyre, and because there's no crossover point to intermediate tyres, that rule still applies. So I believe you'll have to do a set of mediums, yeah, which will only give advantage back then to Gran. Now, he's got to, if to make this work, Florian's got to do mega work on these softs to push out an advantage. and then using fresher mediums at the end of the race. Hope he can make up the difference. So that's his predicament, as we are just under halfway. Lap 13. He was lap 14 out of 28. 36 flat, so he is setting good time. Let's see. Well, Grand's just on, and he's on outlap, so won't be representative time, but I'm interested to see the time he can set on those mediums. See what kind of time he's either losing or gaining, as the track only improves from here now. The rain has finally stopped. Closest gap is 35.6 then for Nicky, so good pace for Nicky on these softs. Quickest car on the track at the moment, as the track only improves. Let's see what Conti's doing on mediums. 36.3. So there's going to be a lot of back and forth with fastest lap for the time being, as obviously the track improves and the confidence grows on the dry track. Let's see then, Gran. Let's see. 9.8 seconds. The gap has been fairly consistent. It's been at 9.8 and 9, 10-second range as well. So it's pretty close. And that's all Gran needs to do, just to stabilise it really, and for Florian not to extend. And basically from there, he should be able to get this done. As 3-second penalty for Key, who is well down. He actually needs a safety car at this stage. To be honest, this race needs a safety car to kick us back into gear. Do you feel any better, Joseph?
Yeah.
Good. I'm glad, because we're only halfway through this race. So I was just saying, Joe, rain has stopped, as you can see.
Seen that, yeah.
Gran pitches on the lap you said he would. Softs and mediums, lap 11. He does the fast lap of the race. Because I was just saying, Joe, because Florian hasn't used a second compounded tire, that rule doesn't apply when. It only applies when we change the intermediate conditions, intermediate tires. He's only used softs. He has to use a set of mediums. So he's losing time to Gran now.
He is, yeah.
Which means he's got to try and make up 10 plus seconds on mediums to end this race. I don't think he's going to be able to do it.
No, I don't think so either.
So he's going to have to hope for a safety car to come out now-ish to get him as close as possible to Gran, who will overtake him regardless, even to a delta. So, but there is no sign of a safety car. Our closest battle is between Conti and Faxland. This is for 6th place. TRS will be open. Beep. Should be an easy overtake for Faxland in the end. Did you like my DRS impression?
Who? Faxland?
Never mind. Faxland is true though. Into P6. Conti then relegated to P7. Not a great day for the Red Bulls, but some good points up for grabs if they can keep it going in a straight line. Which should be even easier now that the tires are so the track is now dry. Penalties
and
won't yeah, I'm going to say penalties won't really be a factor at the front here unless the safety car comes out. We saw a late one in Division 2, I believe.
Yep, we did, Graham.
So I wouldn't be against a late safety car, or even one now, even. Oh, I was hours off into the barrier. Saw that from the point of view of faculty who he was catching, and it's another retirement when you can obviously score some points. Now, will this bring out a safety car? Yes, there it is. So this is excellent news for Florian. It is not good news for Gran. Is Nicky used 2 compounds of tyre? No, it's good news for Nicky then, who has to fulfill the tyre compound conditions. It's great news for Key, which of
Bring
course, you
key
know,
back into it.
yeah, because you know the one thing with a late safety car that would happen is it doesn't really allow the pack to catch up. This certainly will. And Florian is in, no surprise there. This is that was perfect for him. That was exactly what he needed. So even though Graham will overtake him, he's only losing one position. Oh, Graham's going into the pits. Wow.
Soft tire, Graham.
Soft tyre will go on, yeah, you're right. Mediums for Florian, he has to do that. He has to do that to fulfill the tyre conditions. Actually, that's interesting. Good use there for Graham. Would have been easy to stay out, given the obviously that he just pitted the tyres to go to the end. Smart to go onto those softs. Looks like mediums for Storm. Nicky's into the pits then as well, and the queue might lose a bit of time there. Let's see. No, it should be okay because Factlan's coming in as well. Mediums for Nicky. So it was only. I think there's a trick being missed here, but we'll talk about it in a sec. So here we go. Softs then for Factlan. There we go. That's more like a Conti then in on softs too. And Key will come in then and process soft as well. Straight. So the only debate as to why you wouldn't put softs on is if you didn't have a fresh set left from qualifying.
Correct.
That would be basically it. And maybe in that instance, if you didn't have fresh softs left, I think you could argue that a fresh set of mediums might be your better option. If you don't have, if you didn't have brand new softs.
No,
left.
yeah.
I'm saying you could make the argument for it, which is what. Now, Nicky and Florian had no choice. They had to go mediums because they only used the softs, and because we never got into intermediate tires, that rule still applies. So this fairly much puts the advantage back to Gran then. So he's going to have to overtake Florian to get this done.
He's going to, yeah.
The only solids for Florian, Storm and Nicky is that the other soft runners, the rest of them, are behind. So Faxland and Conti.
That'd be interesting.
This is what we needed. We needed this spice up for sure. So I'm glad we've got it, because the field was getting quite spread out, and now we can have an almost sprint to the finish, in a sense, and we'll see what penalties come about.
Correct, Graham.
So still a chance for Key. If he can, I've no doubt he's probably the quickest driver here. Who's been out of position obviously from the start, but not from the start, from lap 1. Or wherever, sorry, from lap 2 rather, lap 2 or 3, wherever he was, he stuffed him to the wall. He obviously started on pole position. Oh, but that's not going to help though, getting penalties trying to catch up to the pack, when clearly you'll catch at the end of this lap. So that's not going to help, but he can still gain significant points in the title race, even if he doesn't win.
Oh yeah, believe me, you will, yeah. Definitely, 100%.
I just want to look at the
tables.
Not even the tables. I just want to look at the rules, the points. So there's some place gets him 13 points. Ideally, he should need to get up to 3rd or so, 3rd or 4th. Get those 20 or 18 points.
Well, he got pole as well, so that's 2.
Pole. So he currently has 113 points. No, sorry, 111. 11, sorry, yeah. I'm looking at old time. Sorry. Here we go. So what?
Excuse me.
It's here. Goodness. 18 points to get him. Yeah, he's come in striking distance. He'd have work to do as the safety car's in this lap. But there's a long way though between now and the end of this race.
Yes, Graham. Yes.
Is in. We'll have 10 laps to the finish. See what drama can be kicked up. So, of course, now Florian is the pace setter. It's up to him to control the speed and it's his prerogative as to when we go racing. The green flag will be at the start of the race. It was actually very early on this straight, so if he gets it wrong, so he gets a good slipstream onto turn 1, might be in trouble. But here he goes then. He goes. And this could be tight, to be fair. Let's see. Oh, bit of a wobble. He's going to be under pressure immediately. Grant should be using his overtake, to be honest. And he's not. And Florian's going to hold this lead, then heading up into turn 1. The rest looks okay. So 7 racers left. 10 laps to go. Difference of compound. Difference of position for other drivers who may have a bit more in the bag in terms of pace, and obviously penalties come into consideration as well. So who wins this race is anyone's guess at this present moment in time. But DRS is very important to keep, and the one you worry if you're Storm, if you're anyone, if you're Conti, if you're Faxland, if you're Key, you'd be worried that if Storm drops out that second window to a car on softer tyres, you'd wonder if the front two just might pull away.
Don't get me wrong, Graham, it's going to be an interesting fight. Like, everyone's close, like,
yeah,
at the moment.
that's all you can ask for, you know?
Notice a few penalties
There's been plenty.
popped up.
We'll see what actually shakes down come the end of this race. Plenty of time to pick up more penalties in the meantime. But yeah, no immediate overtakes are threatening, so we might have to wait till the DRS being enabled to have a look at said opportunity. As there we go then. Fast lap of the race is set. 34.1, basically where we would be at this stage really. The track is fully dry. And everyone on fresh tyres. I think everyone pitted under that stage. I think everyone came in.
Yeah, I'm sure you'd have to be stupid not to.
I mean, to be fair, like, again, Gran could have stayed out. Because he just put on mediums. Like 2 laps.
Maybe he thought softs would be faster, Graham.
Yeah, well, this is the thing, like, you know, there could, you know, he could have stayed out. You know, could have.
He could have said out, but like he decided
But made
not
the
to.
better decision to do it, and he's going to be feeling the benefit of it here. Gets a good run. Oh, yellow flag, someone think Nicky's Alan off. But we're going to look at the move for the race lead as Gran goes through on fire with the soft compound tyres. Not waiting for DRS then. And there you go then. Gran into the lead of this race and now has to try and pull away a second. Because these soft tyres will drop off at some points before the end of this race. And so if he can drop Gran out of his DRS as he's already done, he protects himself for when those tyres do eventually drop off compared to the mediums, and can have a bit of time in reserve to fall back on said tyres. I didn't see what happened to Nicky there at the back. I'm guessing he just dropped it on traction, maybe.
Yeah, I didn't see either, Graham.
Coming out of the hairpin. I wanted to stay with the battle for the lead. But I believe DRS will be enabled this lap, right? Or is it next lap?
Next lap.
Next lap, I believe, yeah. As Storm hang on to the back of Florian, and all he needs to do at this stage, he's on medium tyres as well, same lifespan. 3 laps, of course, including some time they spent under the the safety car has contributed to the 3-second penalty. 2 seconds already. Grant is running away. So he's looking good. I'm going to try and bridge a penalties gap, at least, just to be safe. DRS is enabled this lap apparently.
Oh, right. Didn't know that.
I thought it was next lap too, to be honest, but it is enabled and in use, but no one else making any overtakes at this stage. Although Storm is the most threatening to do so, with Florian struggling in comparison, and in fact right behind this as well. On those softs, we'd ideally like to try and get something done soon, to try and move up through this pack, this pack of 2 cars. It's a much better exit. Has to get off the throttle big time on the exit, second to last corner. Just a much superior level of grip. 33.8 is the time he just set, which I'm sure is faster than the cars in front. The problem is, Storm will have DRS. That'll help protect him. So it's really about the exit of turn 11 for Faxland. I hope he's just close enough so with that slipstream, less so the overtake, because well, neither of them have a lot of it, to be honest, that traction on those tires can pull him through. Or alternatively, if Florian stays with 1.1 ahead, which he does, as that Key and Continent swap places in for P5. So Storm is out of DRS range, Faxland is not. And boom. See then if you can make any inroads. 4/10 back, nipping each way, every way. Will he go for it? Thinks better of it. Snatches a break in the process, but stays behind the Mercedes for the time being.
You diving? No. Yeah. Conti's close up. Yeah, Conti must let a Key through, or Key gets another pen, unfortunately.
Otherwise another one then as well with that cut then of the second to last turn. Here goes Faxland again though, let's see. Again, it's close, but the exit Storm gets, and you can see the boost there as it deploys the overtake. Just puts him far enough in front that doesn't tempt Faxland to have a go heading into turn 1. So 6 laps remaining, including the one we're on. The sun's finally out here. See bursting through in sector 1.
In America.
It's lovely.
Huh? What's that?
Lovely.
America.
Tell you what though, Conti may have let his teammate go, but I'll tell you, he's going to try to be overtaken again. If he's not careful. And he's going to go for it, to be fair. Overtake to get to the DRS line, and then DRS then from there. And go for it. It has a sniff, but decides to fall back in line. But definitely looking to have a go, and why not? Keep picking up the penalties that he is. It's a Storm still in the back of Florian. The gap is kind of stabilised at the front. It's 2.6. So that's all that. Perhaps agonisingly for Grant, it's just out of that penalty window. That 3-second buffer that always helps you feel that little bit safer. And if anything, maybe at this point going forward, he might begin to lose time on those tyres. We'll see though.
Yeah, tyres look fairly broke up. Life has gone out of them, I think.
I think the initial burst has gone out of them. Yeah, I think you're right. So how much time then can he hang on to this kind of gap, or if he is losing time, you know, can he keep a margin? Ooh, Storm, the dirty air going through the S section really compromises him, and we lose DRS as a result. It's close, but it's still just about in it. But did lose a few tenths to the leader. Picks up a penalty in the process. Okay, just in that range though, which means Faxland can't really get anything done. As you see Storm doing anything to try and stay within that slipstream. But nothing doing. He head on to lap 20, go through lap 24, and on to lap 25. And see that 3-second buffer now is there for Gran. That's all he needs, just in case.
Just in case.
Ooh, Storm goes wide. It's really pushing to try and get on the back of Florian. But again, that Renault slippery in a straight line. It's doing enough to keep that Mercedes at bay. 4 laps to go. So I think it still will come down to penalties though for a lot of these positions. It's going to be a...
It's going to be interesting now, Graham, not going to lie. It is going to be interesting.
See who rises, see who falls.
See who topples all the peasants.
The peasants.
Yep, the peasants, Graham. That's what I said, the peasants.
How about the pheasants?
Peasants!
See, he just doesn't get a good run out of turn 11 though, because he's like consistently 7, 8 tenths behind starting down that straight, and that's just not going to be enough to reel in and overtake another car down that straight. It's just not going to be enough. As Key is joining the back of this though, so somewhere along the way Conti's had an error somewhere. Or I think the tyres are just dropping off extremely, and although maybe that's not the case because Grant's still 3.2 out in front. And Key is coming into contention here for some action. Well, any more of that, and he's going to be out of the action. Doesn't need to be cutting corners now. He's got DRS though. Factland does not. See the battle in front. See if he go for a dive. He's going to be closing in quickly. Oh, he's going to go for it. Sends it down the inside into turn 1. He's gone deep. Oops, I hit the wrong car there. Looks like he's through though. So thought maybe he might have gone a bit too deep, but yeah, he's through. It's Key, and now see the car. He sees the podium places in front of him. And tell you what, a podium might not be a bad salvage job from this race. But he's, I don't know, he's going to have to hope penalties are just as strong for other drivers as they are for him. He's just out of that DRS range at the moment, and Factland's still in it. See much, he's got not a lot of DRS, so he might be under pressure here. See Storm getting closer as well, but not close enough. Factland then, when he go for the dive, oh, he goes for it, sends it, oh, and only makes contact with the rear of Key's car. It's only himself to blame for that. It was an ambitious one, and contact was inevitable, and he's lost out then on that battle for P4 on track.
Dive on from heaven, was it, Graham?
Yeah, it was far enough back. I wouldn't have done it myself, but he got his just desserts, I'm afraid, for that one.
Oh well, what can you do?
As we head on to lap 27, 2 laps to go. Gap is still 3.2, so those tyres hanging in well there for Gran, making the most out of them. And the gap here is still 7 tenths of a second. It's just been impossible for Storm to make any inroads down the main straight. See, sweeps through. Keys to 1.5 behind. Trying to make an inroads, trying to get within DRS and Storm. A little bit all over the place there in that into the first sector, but he's going to survive. Even though he won't have DRS on Florian, he will still be second clear of Key, and that's all he can really hope for at the moment. Oh, big moment there. Big moment. He's lost all that progress. He can kiss any hopes of DRS goodbye. And so the only thing left now, Joe, is to see how these penalties rack up.
A lot, I think.
There'll be a few. There will be a few. Grant's still 3.1 clear. It's gonna be a nervous last lap for him though. He's gonna have to push because he could easily be within that range of a 3 second, could be there. And it's so tantalizingly close as he begins the final lap of the race. 3.1, it's going to be very, very close. Can the tyres hang on and keep that margin above 3 seconds, give him every chance he needs to win this Grand Prix? As again, Storm just back within the DRS then of Florian Woods. It's easy come, easy go. he's going to look. It's going to look like everything's going to stay the same here on track unless someone makes a mistake. But gotta push for everything that you can, because at this stage, Joe, all you're looking to do if you're any one of these cars is to try and find the margin, to gap someone. So you see, Key's almost got 3 seconds there on Factland. If you're trying to push that to 3, Storm, same story. He'd be hoping to try and push to 3 seconds to Key behind him. And obviously, Florian trying to close up that gap, Grant trying to pull that gap, maintain it. Always the case when you have a safety car, you come in, you're not racing anyone, you come into this phase of trying just to get a gap, just in case penalties come to the fore.
So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. Just look at the race director.
No, why would I do that? Fun.
I know my winner already, so I'm not going to say that.
Well, we're going to find out very, very shortly. I suspect Grant has enough to have to keep him in front, even with 3 seconds. Here we go then. Round the second to last corner. It's been a great drive from TFI Grant. He comes across the line, across the winning line. He wins. Does he? No. Florian will take the race victory then. Wow. By almost 3 seconds in the end. He finishes ahead of
Faxland gets third place on his debut.
Jumps up ahead of Storm. Just a 10th that separates Storm in the end. Key will have to contend himself for 5th place. Conti then 6th. And Nicky will bring up the rear in 10th. I'm also surprised Nicky didn't actually make a stop and try to go for fastest lap. Because fastest lap does go to Gran. But there we go. So Florian then.
Yeah, Graham, he had no pens, Graham.
Race winner. I thought I saw Florian pop up once. But,
no.
Apparently not.
And Faxland gets driver there by the people in Codemasters. Well done, Faxland.
I actually didn't think Faxland came up for any penalties either, so...
He did, yeah. A lot. What, 3 seconds.
Just the one. That was enough for a spot on the podium, but congrats to Florian. An excellent result for him.
Graham, would you like to take us through the final 7 who have finished?
I will, Joe, as soon as there's a beautiful podium celebration.
Oh, get off that screen.
So, your classified runners, 7 finishers in the end. Wow, everyone but Florian, as you say, Joe, got points, or got penalties rather. But it is Florian, your race winner, from 3rd on the grid. Grand then maintaining station in 2nd place. Factor then from 9th place on the grid up to 3rd. Great debut race for him. Storm in 4th, Key in 5th, Conti 6th, Nicky 7th. Excuse me, rounding out our finishers. Grand taking the fastest lap, and we lost from this race Ivo Zara, Aquaplaning, and Cygate.
And well done to TFI Gran on getting the fastest pit stop as well.
Yes, congratulations, truly. Any closing thoughts on that race, Joe?
Graham, no,
we talk for another 5 minutes, will we?
I don't plan to, but don't.
No, I won't keep you here. Because frankly, yeah. Joe, please tell ladies and gentlemen what is next on the old calendar.
On the calendar, Graham, it's the last race week, and it's in Interlagos in Brazil. Tune in to me, myself, and Graham next Friday. Hopefully there'll be more than 10 drivers. See you soon. Goodbye.
Goodbye.